Hi there, welcome to Appeals Court. This is your boy Jay, and you're probably wondering what is Appeals Court, and I'm gonna give you a quick little rundown of Appeals Court, but you're gonna be able to see what Appeals Court is today. Now, Appeals Court is gonna be a show that involves three different people. There's gonna be a person that is trying to sell the game to someone. There's gonna be someone that dislikes the genre of the game and they're trying to be sold to, and there's gonna be a judge who gets to decide if the selling points of the games were good or if they were bad. Today, I am joined by Zach.
Yeah, I'll be the judge for today's pilot episode.
And the person that I am trying to sell my game to today is Jeff.
Hey, fighting games suck.
Yes, so today I'm going to be selling Jeff a fighting game. Jeff, as you already heard, he absolutely dislikes fighting games.
I even dislike Smash Brothers, which is like the most casual fighting game ever, and I just do not find it fun.
Yes. So, Jeff, I have a quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you own an Xbox One entertainment system?
Jay, I own an Xbox One S White Edition, and I also own a gaming PC with Windows 10 and the Microsoft Store.
Well, you know what? You can throw that computer in the trash because all you'll need today is your Xbox One S. And the game that I am going to be selling to you today is SoulCalibur 2 HD. Originally a PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox game, it was brought over to the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 a couple years ago, and it is playable on the Xbox One, so it'll play on your Xbox One S. Okay, so I have three major points about why I think SoulCalibur 2 HD is a badass game and why you, Jeff, as someone who dislikes fighting games, should play it. The first selling point I have is the single player for SoulCalibur 2 is really meaty. There's a story mode called Weapon Master, and you have this map. And you basically have all these like different kinds of missions, and you have to complete these missions to unlock new gear and whatnot. And there's like your typical arcade mode and like time attack and whatnot. But the Weapon Master mode in this game it's really large for a fighting game.
Hold on, you said new gear. Is there gear in this game?
There is gear, actually. You can get new weapons, and each weapon has like different abilities, or they'll have like a special effect to them.
Shit, okay. That's a good start. Because there's, like, one thing I like in games is progression, and that's like one thing about fighting games, right, is I just feel like I'm kind of doing the same thing over and over again. So, like, Injustice 2 was a little tempting because of like the gear loot system they had, so that's cool.
Yeah, and you don't really see like modes like this nowadays. Like, the big criticism about fighting games nowadays is like they're really bare bones. For example, Street Fighter V was bashed.
I own Street Fighter V and I played like 3 hours and got bored
because there's nothing to do.
Well, the story mode's usually like there's never anything to it. It's like a cutscene and then just a regular match.
Yeah, like the story mode in this one's weird because there aren't really like cutscenes, but you have like text boxes, and it's basically like a chapter you have to read, and then you have like some like challenge you have to do is like don't hit the floor, or if you hit the floor, like your character will bounce high up in the air and you lose like a bunch of damage. And there's dungeons too, which is really surprising.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think that's why SoulCalibur 2 to me was so replayable back in the days, because there was like so much to do. So I mean, for the $20 that this game is like there's a pretty meaty like single player to this game that I think will lure you back in.
Is the story like I obviously it's not gonna have like the Last of Us level writing, but like is the story good?
It's about like whatever character you select, and they go find the SoulCalibur, which is the actual name of a sword in the game.
Okay.
And it's like supposed to be like some like magical sword. It's a very like Namco style like story.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen like the cutscenes from like the recent Tekken games, it's not as campy, but it's like it's a fighting game story.
I don't mind campy. I like when games have fun with themselves and don't take themselves too seriously. So I'm on board with that.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's the thing about SoulCalibur 2. It's like even if you're not like interested in the multiplayer, like there's a lot for you to do by yourself.
Okay.
So, that's all I have to say about that one. Zach, do you feel like that was convincing or not?
I think it was a good defense. The one thing I'd like to see you talk a little bit more to convince Jeff here, how do the different characters change the story as you play?
I guess that's the only issue I have is like like you'll get like the introduction chapter of like why that character is like doing whatever they're doing. But I mean, like the weapon master mode doesn't change all that much depending on which character you choose.
Okay, so there's like kind of a different starting point, but then you're basically just doing the same thing with a different character. So if you played through the story mode with one character, there's not going to be like a huge incentive to play it with another one unless you just want to like play as that character, I guess.
No, and like you can buy the weapons for all the other characters with like that one character you started with. So yeah, you're right. There's not really like a big reason to replay it with different characters.
Okay, and I'm guessing like the levels and stuff like that in the single player mode, they're the same as the multiplayer mode. There's not a lot like that you see there that uh, is unique to it.
No.
Okay. I mean, it still sounds like a step above what most fighting games offer. And again, like you said, for $20, if I even got like 10 hours enjoyment out of the game total, that would be like a good deal for me. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm on board with the story mode here, and that's something I always want in a fighting game. Like, they won't even have my interest unless they have a decent campaign, because I know I'm gonna get like bodied online. That's not really gonna be where my go-to is. So,
All right, well, Zach, you have the final say in this. So
I think you did a pretty good job listening to Jeff's criticisms of the genre, and I think you presented ways that SoulCalibur 2 is a step above the rest. I'd like to hear the rest of your case.
all right, so my second point today is like with Tekken, for example, the combat's pretty simple to pick up, but it's really hard to master. And SoulCalibur 2 is the exact same way. The combat's really flashy in this game. It's not the most in-depth combat system. I feel like SoulCalibur 5 still has the best fighting system of any SoulCalibur game, but I feel like the combat system in SoulCalibur 2 is great. As I said before, it's very easy to pick up, and you look like a badass every time you fight in the game.
so sorry for interrupting, but this is my big sticking point with fighting games and why I don't typically get much enjoyment out of them. It is the gameplay. It's the execution of moves. Like I'm bad at games to begin with. I play most games on easy mode. I'm especially bad at fighting games because I don't know if it's a lack of dexterity, but I just struggle to execute the basic combos. Like even in Street Fighter, like a Hadouken is just like a quarter circle and a button, and I can still only hit it like 4 out of 5 times. Like that's okay, but like anything more complex than that, and then when you start throwing cancels into it, like that's where you totally lose me. I'm wondering how accessible is this? More accessible than other fighting games? Is it kind of in the middle? Like for someone like me that just wants to play it and kind of do some basic stuff, can I still get enjoyment out of it?
Yeah, if you want to do basic stuff, you can still get enjoyment out of it. And, I'm going to tell you how easy the combat system in this game is. Back in the day, I hooked up my Guitar Hero like PlayStation 2 controller, and I was able to complete arcade mode with my Guitar Hero controller.
Okay.
It's not that hard. If there's like one really technical thing about this game, is that there's this thing called guard break, which is basically like a last second guard, and like it breaks the combo of the other player. But I mean, it's just like Tekken, like the buttons like represent like the limbs on your person's body. I mean, I've never really found it too hard to play, and I've played a good number of fighting games. And like you, like I have trouble playing Street Fighter, like just doing like a simple combo in Street Fighter. But like I feel like I'm actually good at SoulCalibur.
So when it like character to character, like how do the moves change or the like combat? I guess like do they have different styles or like if you kind of know how to play one character, do you know how to play the others, or do you kind of have to learn each one?
You kind of have to learn each one. Like each character has like a different like speed. Like you might have like you have like your slow characters, you have like your medium, like your average characters, and you have your really fast characters, and like. Basically, like once you like learn like what characters like fast, you're like okay, their attacks are like weaker, but they're able to pull them off faster. While like slow characters, you're like the attacks are really slow and they take a little while to execute, but the damage is powerful. And each main character in SoulCalibur, because there's a couple duplicate characters, like has his own like unique fighting style. Like you have a samurai, and then you have a guy with like blades. And speaking of, actually, you have characters like Spawn who uses like his axe. So I mean, like each character has like a different type of weapon, and each character has like their own skills and whatnot.
I mean that sounds cool, but I don't think I'm sold yet. Like I'm I could go and just buy a brand new game like Injustice 2 on my computer and play that. Like, why would I play Soul Calibur 2 over Injustice 2 from like a gameplay perspective, or any other game really? Like, what makes Soul Calibur 2 great?
What makes SoulCalibur 2 great is the fact that, for one thing, unlike Injustice 2 or as you said, Street Fighter 5, it is a 3D fighting game. It's not you're not just bound to the 2D fighting like landscape or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a 3D fighting game, so you do get to like explore the arenas and whatnot, as much as the game allows you to.
So when you say 3D, like, can you move around free, or is it kind of like you've got your two axis, you can kind of move back and forward? And I'm just trying to picture in my head like how you move around. Like, is there just different depths?
Okay, this one's kind of hard to explain. You pretty much have like your 3D arena, and you can roam around the arena. And, you have like your rain outs and whatnot. You're not just limited to like left, right. You can go up and down as well, and you can do diagonal like turns as well.
Okay, yeah, I can kind of picture that.
Yeah. It's a pretty simple 3D fighting game, I think. It's definitely easier than games like Virtual Fighter or Dead or Alive.
Okay. I'm between that and the campaign. I'm like interested, but I'm not. I don't know if I'm sold on the gameplay yet.
Agreed. From the judge perspective, Jay, I think you did a good job showing your passion, but I think we need to do a little bit more to show Jeff the accessibility of SoulCalibur. Can we move on to your next point?
Yeah, and this is my last point. I have mentioned this before, but I feel like this is a really strong point to bring up because I have mentioned the campaign mode and, everything else about it is that like when it's normally priced, like when it's not on sale, it's only $20 on Xbox. Like, which I feel like for a campaign that long is not expensive at all. I feel like $20 for a fighting game that has this much content is a really good like selling point. Because as Jeff's already mentioned, he bought Street Fighter 5. I don't know if he bought it at launch or not.
I did.
He only put. Okay. Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. It happens.
Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition in the stores now.
Yeah. I think I have a free upgrade waiting for me.
Oh, well, have fun with that. But like with games like Street Fighter 5, they came out, like priced at $60, and there was nothing in that package. You had like your really like bare bones arcade mode. You had like your online mode, and as you've mentioned, you don't like playing like fighting games online because like you're gonna get your ass kicked, and there's nothing wrong with that. And like I feel like SoulCalibur, like for $20, if you want like a fun like single player fighting game, like I feel like it's a perfect price point, especially for someone like you who's like curious about.
So outside of the campaign, like I assume now the topic's kind of value, like bang for your buck type thing.
Yeah.
Like outside of the campaign, is there like other single player modes other than just like verse? Like, is there like challenges or anything like that?
Aside from like the weapon master mode and whatnot, you have as I've said before, like arcade mode, which just is like your simple. You play so many matches to get to the end.
Okay.
You have team battle mode, which is basically you put together a team of like up to 8 people, and you're able to like set to like one round, and you can. Like once that round ends, you move to the next character, and that's a very like good way to like test out characters to see who you like and whatnot.
Okay.
Time attack mode, which I've mentioned before. If no one here knows what a time attack mode is basically you're fighting against the clock to win. You have a survival battle, which is basically you're trying to survive for as long as you can against so many infinite amount of characters. And you have a training mode, which is you can train, you can get better. Though I've never touched a train mode in this game. And you also have extra modes, which allows you to use those weapons that you earned on Weapon Master. So, for example, you can go into extra mode, into the extra modes, and you can play like extra arcade, and like all your characters now have like their new weapons, and it kind of changes this game up a little bit because like the weapons, as I've said before, like they each have like their own special ability.
Okay.
And there's also a museum mode, so you can unlock artwork and like videos and whatnot.
That's cool. I do like that stuff, like concept art and things like that. I mean, that's a pretty good bundle. I agree the price point is good. My only issue is, I guess, with the age of the game. I feel like that's a little bit more than I want to pay. Because there's like, more. Not that to say that the game like doesn't hold up or whatever, but I'm just typically drawn to more recent modern games, and like some of those are like $20 or $30, or like Killer Instinct is free to play. Like, I think I'm pretty interested. It sounds like a good package. I feel like I might wait for a sale since I'm basically playing something that's like from I don't know, almost like 15 years ago. Yeah, but like for out of $10, which I guess would probably be like 15 here, that story mode alone sounds like I think it would be worth the money for me.
Yeah, no, that's totally understandable. And personally, to me, that's better than you just saying no. All right, cool. I have nothing else to say about the price point. So, Zach, I want your input on this.
Sure. I think that this case isn't open and closed. I don't think we've sold Jeff entirely, but I think that we can rule that this is a good effort, and I think we've piqued his interest. I think that's all we've got from the judge.
All right. So, as the judge, and Jeff's like stance on this, and my stance on this, or what I've done today. Do you think I have entirely do you think I've actually have sold the game to Jeff, or do you think it was just not a good enough effort for him to spend the full price, or to buy the game full price?
I think your pitch was strong, but I think Jeff made a good point that $20 is a lot, even though it is an HD remaster for the Xbox 360. I think price is the reason this case isn't closed.
All right. Well, for the pilot episode of Appeals Court, we have a case not closed. I neither won or lost. Don't you agree with that, Zach?
I would agree with that. I think that after we see a sale for this game, maybe we can reapproach it. But for now, I just don't feel comfortable making a ruling.
All right, and do you feel comfortable with that, Jeff? Do you agree with that?
I do. I'm wondering if there's a legal term for a draw, or like an unclosed case. I'm questioning the judicial credentials of some of us.
You know what? I think for today we can just say it's a draw, and if it does go on sale, anytime in the future, we can try to come back to it.
I guess the best way to put this case, if Jeff really wants to get into the weeds, is that this would be a case that's adjourned, which means we are postponing the proceedings until further notice.
Okay.
All right, and you know what? I'm satisfied with that. That's better than me. It's better than me hearing no, Jay, you sucked at your pitches. So I'm fine with that.
Jay, you did a good job. Usually fighting game is instant. It's like when I hear MOBA or roguelike, those are just things that don't interest me, and I usually would write it off immediately. After this, I'm probably gonna look up some YouTube videos of SoulCalibur 2 HD and add it to a wish list, keep an eye for it on a sale. So even though we've declared this adjourned, I still think you made some good progress.
And that was the pilot episode for Appeals Court. If you've enjoyed this content today, just let us know. If you have any comments, both positive or negative about Appeals Court, let us know as well. This is a brand new thing, so we're trying to improve it as much as we can. This will not be a weekly thing. This is always going to be pre-recorded. And yeah, if you're interested in being on Appeals Court, just let me know on Twitter. My username is @Cheddas, CHEDDAHC as in zebra. Thank you so much for joining us today, tonight, whenever you're watching this. I'm Jay.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Zach.
And we'll see you guys around.